Hey guys, it's me, Sujoy. So I'm back with another video. I just came back from having 4 rounds of Vietnamese wine and a bit of smoke. Not been keeping a bit well. Got a bit of cold. Last night had 2 rounds of beer and taking some medicines. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why do Vietnamese people stare at foreigners, or is there a huge staring problem here in Vietnam, especially in Ho Chi Minh City? Um, I would say absolutely fucking yes, there is. My channel is all about giving upfront views. I don't like to, talk a lot about fluff or something. So I like to be straight to the point, no BS. I'm originally from India, and I did my college from the U.S. and I was in Europe for 10 years. Did my schooling over there, so I'm pretty well traveled internationally. Um, all right. So let me just have a bit of my nitro brew. Um, all right, so I've been living here in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, for over 4 years now. I think 5 years now. I remember the first time when I came to Ho Chi Minh City. I used to stay in Go Vap district, and I used to stay with a lot of international teachers. They were white. Some of them from Australia, UK. I had a quick round of discussion with them. They always said that they don't like to go out too much in the evening because the Vietnamese people, like they keep on staring at them. And it's just point blank fucking stare, which is pretty fucking annoying. And I think it's kind of rude also, and I've experienced this firsthand. Like, I mean, because I'm from India, I look Asian type, but still, they'll still fucking stare at you. Like especially the men. Like they'll just some of them, they'll just give you a bad stare. I mean, I don't mind, if a couple of them. I mean, if Vietnamese people are staring at you with some nice smiles, that's all right. But like just giving a point blank fucking stare is kind of annoying. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're white, brown, black. I mean, the main issue over here is there is a big fucking problem of staring out here in Vietnam, and I've discussed this with a couple of Vietnamese people, you know, um, with the students when I used to do some teaching back in the school. They would say it's a part of the culture. I mean, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I think it's really kind of fucking annoying, like the staring thing. So I mean, because it doesn't make me feel very comfortable. Like if I'm not saying all Vietnamese people stare at me. I mean, I'm talking from my personal perspective point of view. I'm a brown skinned foreigner. I have dark brown skin. But yeah, I mean, especially if you're going to be at the countryside, you're going to be stared at a lot. But it's just like a point blank fucking stare, no smile, nothing. It gets kind of intimidating. Even in Ho Chi Minh City, like I've experienced this. Like if I'm driving the motorbike, or if I'm just taking a grab bike or something, and it's just that you get those stares, because maybe they're not used to Indian people. They're not used to foreigners coming from different countries, because maybe in their mind they just feel like, okay, if it has to be a white foreigner or something like that. But I don't think that's the case also, because I've also heard stories that white expats, they're being stared upon, and I mean, and from my personal experience, I've had a lot of staring issues over here in Vietnam, especially from Vietnamese girls, and they don't stare at you. They just give you a point blank stare, no smile, nothing. But it's just like, and even a couple of these Vietnamese guys, when they drive their motorbikes, the young dudes, It's just like fucking intimidating, and it feels like oh, I'm something fucking special. Who are you? I mean, I'm gonna stare at you because I'm from Vietnam. I'm the best. I think that's so fucking wrong. I don't want to compare. I don't want to compare oranges with apples. I don't want to compare India with Vietnam because India is pretty economically strong, and we're a strong defense powerhouse. Like I said in one of my videos, like when it comes to India, most of the Vietnamese they just think about yoga and curry. So the knowledge is pretty less. There's a very lack of knowledge. So I think this should be addressed in the media that stop fucking staring around at foreigners. No matter if you're white, brown, black. Just have the manners, or even if you're staring, just smile, or just smile and approach me, or just say how are you, where are you from, or something like that. But giving point blank fucking stares, I think that's pretty fucking rude. And like these guys, they justify, they say, oh, it's part of Vietnam culture. I mean, what the fuck is that supposed to be? Yeah, I am from India. We do also have a lot of people, they stare at foreigners, but with a smile. Okay, with a smile that, all right, we would like to be your friend or something. But, giving a point blank fucking stare, is kind of annoying and rude, especially if you come to the countryside like Long An province. You're going to get that because I don't see many foreigners around. So, um, you know, um, I've even had this experience when I was in Vung Tau, um, and even in Ho Chi Minh City. Like especially if you're when it comes the traffic stops and all that, when you're just if I'm sitting behind a grab bike or whatever it is, like you do get some people staring at you with point blank, or some fucking asshole is driving or coming approaching you with a motorbike. He's going to give you that shitty stare. Or if you're going to go to a market, they're going to stare at you. They're going to fucking analyze each of your actions, what you're doing. I think that's not good for the Vietnam tourism industry. The media should make it aware that stop fucking staring at foreigners. Giving point blank stares. All right, you can stare, but with a smile, or you can. I mean, I don't mind somebody staring at me and with a smile, and then coming approaching me and saying, "Where are you from?" Or a beautiful Vietnamese girl staring at me, with a smile and coming to me and saying, how's your day going, or where are you from, or whatever it is. But it's been there for many years now. I mean, like I said, I've been here for around 5 years now, and this the staring problem is a big issue over here. It's improved to a certain extent, but I remember the first 2 years when I was here in Vietnam, it was just worse. I mean, even if I would be driving a motorbike or something, I would be stared at with point blank stare, no smiles, nothing. And I mean, that time they wouldn't be wearing the mask, so they just fucking stare at you or something. Or if you're just walking around the streets, the Vietnamese guys, they'll just stare at you and just, like smoking their fucking cigarettes, and they'll be thinking, we're the cool jazz type people. So I think, maybe the media should address this. There's a huge staring problem over here in Vietnam. It gets kind of intimidating because the last thing you want is a foreigner snapping around and, creating some problem. I mean, for me, it's all right. I don't give two flying fucks, if I have 10 people staring at me, with an intimidating look. But I'm just a bit concerned, like, if somebody's coming from the West, or some other foreigner, or some maybe an African person, if he's going to be stared upon, point blank stare with an intimidating look by the Vietnamese people, then, he can flip out, and then, these Vietnamese guys will get their buddies and they'll take care of the foreigner or whatever it is. It gets pretty violent. Seeing the TikTok videos. So yeah, I mean, this is a huge problem. Vietnam has a huge staring problem, so I think it needs to be fixed, and try to get adjusted more with foreigners coming from India, because 2023 there was a huge uptick of Indian travelers visiting Vietnam, and we spent a lot of money traveling around, staying in good hotels. So don't give us a fucking hard time. I mean, just try to be friendly. Even if you're staring at us, just stare with a smile or approach me, and like, where are you from, or how's your day going or something like that. But just giving a point blank stare, uh, it's kind of intimidating, and it's there in the countryside and also in Ho Chi Minh City. I've even had this in Hanoi. But it's kind of improved a bit. But I remember the first 2 years, it was just pathetic because a couple of my foreign expat friends who were white, they would not go out after a specific hour because they don't feel comfortable, because they would be stared upon. I've even heard stories that a couple of these Vietnamese guys, they will be staring at them and laughing at them and poking fun or whatever it is. I mean, you guys are not fucking special breeds or something, because Vietnam has still got a long way to go. I would not consider Vietnam to be like Singapore or something, like a multicultural country. So if you really want to improve the situation, then the media needs to address this. Because this is kind of very annoying, for us foreigners. When Vietnamese people, they stare at us, just giving point blank looks. So that's all I got to say. You guys have a great holiday. This was me, Sue Joy. Peace out.